Now, if you've clicked on this, presumably you're here to watch a review of the movie Extraction, starring Christopher Hemsworth. This is actually an excerpt from our podcast, The Weekly Planet.
I'm here too.
That's right, Mason's here, and he's going to be in the rest of this video. If you could leave it like that, it'd be great. And also, guess what? We talk about some alternate castings at the end of the review, don't we?
Yeah, skip to the end. Just kidding.
No. Well, look, I've got a bit of an intro to this. So Hugh G, Reaction on Twitter said, talk about Extraction, please. So we've actually got a new movie to talk about this week in the tradition of, middle-of-the-road Netflix action movies, including Six Underground, Spencer Confidential, Triple Frontier, comes Extraction. It's better than those, I feel.
Look, I didn't see Triple Frontier.
I didn't mind Triple Frontier. Yeah, I thought it had a solid cast. It's like Ben Affleck and Oscar Isaac, and there was a good kind of rapport there. It's like bog standard action wise, but it's compelling enough.
I did not care for Six Underground. You didn't.
I couldn't watch more than a minute of that.
Right.
Why did they have a parkour guy in a car chase?
I don't know, but it was sort of aggressively visceral, but it was like that Michael Bay style of just everything and everything in every frame is moving constantly and exploding, and when everything is pulling focus, you can't. I can't enjoy those. And I watched maybe 5 minutes of Spencer Confidential, and I had to switch it off. But this one, watched all the way through.
I know, right?
It's a good movie.
Well, it is directed by Sam Hargrave, who you might know as a stuntman and stunt coordinator who worked on films like Civil War and Endgame.
Oh, yes.
So the Russo brothers were also involved in the story and screenplay side of things.
Okay,
It's pretty bare bones in terms of storytelling, but a lot of the story unfolds in the action, because I know the director wanted to kind of have it so each action sequence tells you a little bit about the characters that are involved in that.
Okay.
So, for example, and we're going to go non-spoilers and spoilers, but it is on Netflix if you do want to check it out. You find out things about Chris Hemsworth that he's not going to shoot a kid in a like, so things are like
he's a big wuss.
Yeah, yes. There's certain lines that he won't cross. So even though he's
like not being a big wuss, He'll never cross that line. The big wuss.
The big wuss line, yeah. So he's kind of an anti-hero. I think a good nickname for this guy would be John Prick, because he's like a meaner version of John Wick. Yeah, kind of a gruffer, rougher. Like the kills are more kind of hands-on. Don't you feel? And visceral than a lot of
It's a good question. I feel they're more real than John Wick.
Yeah.
I feel like
there's a hyper-violence to John Wick, and this is more kind of...
it is more grounded. There are
That's not a criticism of John Wick either. I'm just saying...
No, I think that it's not quite apples and oranges, but it's two different varieties of apples.
Yes,
ultimately.
Exactly, yeah.
I feel like this is more of a Granny Smith.
Sure. Crisp, clean, polished.
Crisp
Hemsworth, yeah. What I really enjoyed about Crisp Hemsworth in this is he's like a foot taller than everyone he fights. One of the first action sequences, because I watched a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, the director talked about how, he starts, you see how efficient he is with weapons when he busts into the room, and he's whittled away, and at one point he uses a cup and a rake and all these different things.
I know, it's great, right?
Another!
But him being so much bigger, he's able to kick the legs out from underbody, and they just hit the fucking ground. Yeah. Really difficult.
He's a real Jack Reacher.
He is, isn't he? But he's just tossing people around, and I just really enjoyed it.
There's a few that sort of dip into John Wick territory.
Sure.
I think there's a moment where he essentially bodily picks up one dude and sweeps him across the room like he's a club and knocks him out. Do you remember that bit?
I do.
Yeah.
There's a moment where he picks up a guy and dumps him over his shoulder onto his head. Apparently that's a fake body, because they're like, we couldn't really do that. Kill somebody doing it. A lot of time I can get sick of action sequences if I'm not really drawn into the character. And I found that was what John Wick 3 was to me. It became less interesting as a character.
Well, to me, John Wick 3 became less interesting just because it felt quite video gamey. We did an episode on it, I think.
Sure.
And quite video gamey, and also kind of, he had a formula for success, and he just kept doing it. It was set your dog on someone, then close the distance and headshot them, and then that 50 times.
Yeah, right.
And it lost seeing that a few times was kind of interesting.
Yes.
But it kind of lost its luster. That
I don't think they don't get worse as movies, but
no,
there is that. I'd agree.
And I don't feel like it worked initially as a novelty, and then it was like, oh, we're doing this again.
Yeah,
doing this again. That's okay.
And when you get past the kind of, you move way past the dead wife and the dead dog, you kind of become disconnected from those things that were kind of tethering him in the first movie.
Yeah.
But this has the advantage of it's the potentially first movie of maybe a franchise. We'll talk about it, but that it is fresh and new, and he's a new character, and everybody seems to be using their real accents, which I appreciate a lot.
Very diverse cast as well, I thought.
That I really enjoyed because a lot of the time when, they'll do drug lords in, Mexican drug lords or whatever, which, it's in nearly every movie, but this is the idea that there's crime in India. Yeah, of course there would be. And the idea that they used a lot of local actors to do that. Like
early on we see, Chris Hemsworth origin, he's hanging out with in the Kimberleys and in where's that, Western Australia?
Western Australia, yeah.
And they used clearly local actors, which was nice.
Exactly. And that's not really something you see a lot of, using Indigenous actors like properly in things in Australia. It's definitely getting better, but they were minor roles, sure, but they took the time to be like, well, let's get some local actors to do this, Yes. I appreciated it. But the same thing with one of the lead actors, Randeep Hodar, who's a famous, I'm probably saying that wrong, but he's a famous Indian actor. I thought was also really convincing in his action sequences. And he's clearly
he's Chris Hemsworth's sort of opposite number.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. And the idea also that when you're in their world and it's just them talking to themselves, it's subtitled. They're not like, let's just speak English for God's sake. It happens a lot of the time.
You've got to practice your English.
Yeah. But I felt also like a big part of this movie is him protecting a kid. I thought that kid was really good, and their relationship they flesh it out just enough that it's interesting. I feel like it was just on the precipice of like, there's nearly not enough here between these two characters.
So? Yeah.
But I mean, not that you ever get the sense that he doesn't like the kid, but I think there's one scene in particular where they sit down and they have a discussion where they actually properly click, and I think that really aided the finale of this film.
And then the shopping montage, that really helped it out. After that, they're like, oh my God, you love frozen yogurt too? Let's go.
What I also liked
I'm coming up. I got the world
Also like that he's very kind of sloppy and improvises a lot in the way that Bourne does. Because I remember appreciating when you see those Jason Bourne movies, when he's in a car and he's doing a car race to get away. He's got the map open. Like he doesn't just know where he's going. And in this one, like he takes a wrong turn at one point. And he has to back up,
Yeah, that's right.
Things like that. I made him kind of more...
he had to rely on a GPS at one point. He puts it on the dashboard and he's like, I don't know where I'm going. I'm not from here.
Yeah, exactly. But it is mostly Chris Hemsworth doing it for the most part, which is pretty evident.
There is a leap off the roof, and I wonder if that wouldn't have been Hemsworth, surely.
No, I'd imagine not. That was in the Onner. So the Onner it starts in a car chase and then it goes into tactical kind of shootery.
Oh, yes.
And then it's a fist fight in the street. It's like 11 minutes 30. And there is cuts in it.
Yep.
But a lot of that was the director who plays the sniper in this. He's got the beard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He strapped himself to the hood of a car and was in the car chase, like following close as cars are flipping and spinning out. So it's really kind of adds to it. I feel that it's not just CGI cars flipping, it's real cars and you're getting really close to the action the whole time.
Yeah. Felt good. Felt visceral, but not like... we don't need to see every bullet go through everybody and come out the other side and all that sort of stuff.
But if you do want to see that,
Six Underground, I guess, yeah.
I mean, it's also in this.
Okay, right.
Yeah, is that what happens in Six Underground?
At one point in Six Underground, somebody fires a grenade at a car and it actually comes in through the window and it breaks the driver's nose. And then it lands in the car and then it explodes.
Okay.
So he was
I think that's quite...
Yeah, but when it's every frame.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah. So it's every time somebody's killed, it's a grenade to the nose.
Yes, that's right.
If you want to see Chris Hemsworth slap around a bunch of kids,
you're
definitely going to get it.
Yeah, that's right.
I think that was my favorite action sequence because he's fighting kids and they've got guns and machetes.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want to kill them and he's just like cuffing them, like a dad, like cuffing his kids the entire time.
Oh, is that?
Though he is really hurting them.
James, is that scratching an itch for you at all as a dad, do you think?
I guess it is. I don't hit my kid, but after this, lessons seem to be learned, don't they?
I mean, Chris Hemsworth is he's a role model, isn't he?
Well, his kid's in this. There's a moment where you see one of his kids.
I wondered if that was his kid. Okay,
actually his kid. His kid is blonde as the day is long. Yeah, which isn't surprising. Yeah. Do you want to talk about spoilers?
Let's talk about spoilers. I'm going to say best Netflix movie ever.
Me too.
But maybe literally ever.
I'm sure there are other
Probably that's
examples.
a generic statement of like best movie ever because it's not the worst movie ever. But I think this may be...
Marriage Story. Roma.
Oh, yeah.
I still haven't seen
pretty
it.
Good.
Dolomite Is My Name.
That's okay, right. Oh, okay. All right, best Netflix action movie.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Yeah. What about The Irishman?
No. That's an action movie?
What about Uncut Gems? That came to
Not
Netflix.
An action movie, really.
El Camino?
I prefer this, actually.
I really liked El Camino. I mean, they're different, aren't they? Did you see The King?
No, what's The King?
The King is about a king, and he's like, I'm the king now. Timothy Chalamet and Robert Pattinson's French, and he's like, I'm French in this.
This is on Netflix.
Yeah, it's really good.
The King.
If you like Braveheart, then yeah. Murder Mystery, what about that?
That movie is pretty average in my estimation.
What about Bird Box?
Didn't see Bird Box.
Really?
Didn't see
But there
it.
was the Bird Box Challenge. You're going to be coming to the Bird Box Challenge too. Like, you're going to be driving your car blindfolded, and people are going to be like, where's this guy been?
Yep.
It's going to be really embarrassing for you. Yeah, there's some good stuff here, but yeah, you're right. A lot of it is generic action movies like Time Is Up or Point Your Gun and Click.
So there's a lot of movies that are sort of like Battle Los Angeles. There's a vague alien threat, and they come down and they've got green laser sights, and who are they?
And how are they going to get?
Probably humans from the future or something.
Yeah, but how are they going to get to the big blue laser?
Probably in like armored vehicles.
Armored vehicles,
and then maybe through the sewers when the armored vehicles get stuck.
Yeah,
Probably
exactly.
through the sewers, yeah.
There's only really one kind of big spoiler moment in this.
Are we doing spoilers now?
Yes.
Okay, James, spoilers from this point forward. Are you ready for spoilers, James and listeners?
Well, I've seen it, so I'm okay with this, obviously.
Oh, yeah, just listeners. Listeners, are you okay with spoilers from this point forward? I can't hear you.
No, we're not. We haven't seen it yet.
Wow. Well, maybe you
can
hit pause.
click away. You can
click away, volume down.
But I can't. I'm on the other side of my room. I can't reach my device that I'm playing this on.
Cover your ears. Just cover your ears with your hands.
I don't have any hands. They're stuck in a toaster. You could sing a song really loudly.
You could sing a song really loudly. That's right.
I'm not a great singer. I'm a bit self-conscious.
You know what? Everybody can sing a little bit. Just believe in yourself. There's always one song. You just sing the song you sing in the shower.
I'm coming up.
I want the world to know.
This has actually given me a lot of confidence. Thanks, guys.
Oh, that's great.
I'll rate you 5 stars on iTunes.
Oh, bless you.
Give this video a like.
Bless you. Wait a second. How can you do that if both your hands are stuck in a toaster? You lying son of a bitch. Stop listening. I don't want you anymore.
So, Chris Hemsworth manages to make the extraction.
That's right.
And it turns out that the guy who think be his enemy really hired him because so Chris Hemsworth would do the extraction because he couldn't pay for Chris Hemsworth because he's so good at extraction.
So the idea was that he would get Chris Hemsworth to do the extraction
Yeah.
and not pay him and then get his henchman,
Yes,
the aforementioned opposite number, to perform the rest of the extraction
that's right.
for freebies.
That's right.
Wow, rude.
And Chris Hemsworth is not having it until he is.
Yeah.
Then he's okay
right,
with it
yeah,
because he loves kids or something.
Yeah.
But also he wants to drown. He's got a lot going on. He's a
But
complicated
does he
man.
want to drown?
That's a good question. No.
No.
Because it was really good how there was a metaphor in this about how you only drown if you fall into a river and you don't get out of the river. And then at the end,
Yes.
Chris Hemsworth falls into a river.
That's right, yeah.
That's wow.
Do you feel like
Do you think he was thinking that as he fell in? He's like, what are the fucking odds of that?
Yeah, right.
He said that exact thing and now I'm in the river.
Yeah. But then he would have been like, but I've been in rivers before, I think. As part of my job and probably just swimming in a river sometime.
I live up in the Kimberley.
Swinging off an old tyre swing, perhaps. Just hanging out, having a bevy with the boys, I'm drowning. I should probably stop thinking about this and get out of the river.
Couple of bevies with the boy.
But I've been shot in the neck also.
Do you think that this movie could have worked? Do you think it needed the flashbacks?
Yeah,
Because Chris Hemsworth character is driven at least partly by the fact that he had a child who got very sick, and then rather than deal with that and spend time with his wife, he instead decided to leave and do army stuff somewhere else.
That's right.
And he regrets that.
Yeah.
But in performing this extraction, money or no money, he's like,
This is my penance.
This is my penance, and as a result, I can live at the end of this.
Yes.
I think we as an audience are smart enough to be like, oh, he had, we don't need to see the kid swimming in the river or whatever. Like, I think we get it. But
okay. So do you think Chris Hemsworth at the end of this was alive and that was Chris Hemsworth?
Who else could it have been?
John Prick. His character, John Prick.
Oh, okay. Right.
No, his name's Jake Rake or something.
Jake
His
Rake.
name is Rake.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he's related to Rake?
From the TV show Rake, the Australian TV show Rake.
Even though his name's not Rake?
I think his name is Rake, isn't it? Oh, no, it might be like muck raking. No, his name's Cleaver Green.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, do you think they're brothers?
Yes.
Okay, good.
It all comes together, doesn't
The
it?
only on TV cinematic universe.
Yes. So how did he get into that school? I guess he just...
He just jumped a fence.
Jumped a fence.
It's 8 months later. I'm sure he's fine now.
Yeah, and nobody stopped him in the school, I guess. Yeah.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the main character presumably living
I think
to
it's
fight
okay.
another day.
I think it's
so
okay.
too. Yeah.
I think it also gives the kid closure.
Yeah. Okay, but
I
how
think
do
that's
you
more
feel about
important.
the final action sequence where I feel the only reason Jake Rake stuck around was to be shot by his teenage arch nemesis, the little kid who he'd humiliated in the past.
Yeah.
I feel like there wasn't really, because he sort of, at the end we have, he's had the kid run to his compatriots, his surviving team, and this is on the opposite side of like on the safe side of a bridge. Then he starts walking back to the bridge to shoot the leftover, army guys and police guys or whatever.
Corrupt cops or whatever, yeah.
Also, one of my criticisms, I think, is maybe that I felt it was very convenient that there was they just put a throwaway line in that was essentially, everybody in this city's on the take. So it's totally fine to shoot all the cops and all the army guys. Like, it's totally fine.
But I also feel like yes, I agree with you, but a lot of times when people live in extreme poverty, then it's just part of the system. Everybody's trying to feed their family, so everybody who can, will, do whatever. You know what I mean?
Maybe,
and if you're in the police force also, and they're like, kill this guy, even if you're not on the take, you're the police and you have to do it.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true.
I mean?
Yeah.
So he's also killing people who are just doing their job.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Yes.
Yeah.
But
he's not a great guy, is he?
No, he's not. That's true. I guess the idea of that final action sequence towards the end is he doesn't think he deserves to live anymore, or he's
done what he needs.
He's done what he needs to do, so it doesn't matter at this point if he lives or dies, and he's just like, well, I better kill some more cops.
Yeah.
So
that's why he was walking back to shoot more cops.
Seems that way.
I thought he was just like, enough of this shit.
You think so?
I didn't take it as like,
because I felt
I'm out for blood. I didn't take it as that.
I felt like that how the timing of the editing worked is that at that point it didn't seem like him or the kid were really in any more danger.
Yeah, right.
It wasn't like, oh my God, there's more troops at the gates, and if you don't take a stand right now as we run, the kid's going to be killed and we're all going to die. It felt like there was this very calm moment where the kid and the good guys were going to get away, and he's just like, well, time to go back on the bridge.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
Bang.
Was he actually walking back though, or was he just walking in any direction?
He was walking back on the bridge.
Yeah, I just thought he was just walking.
Oh,
I didn't really. Yeah.
I just need a moment to gather my thoughts,
damn,
folks.
I've been shot so many times.
Yeah.
I've got some alternate casting here I thought you might be interested in.
Oh, okay.
Because this movie has been in the works for
The Rock?
for a while. No.
I wonder if The Rock would do it just because it's a character with some moral grey area.
I think he does moral grey areas.
Like who?
Hobbs or Shaw.
They don't have any moral grey area.
They're all good all the time.
Well, that's the thing. That I feel like Hobbs and or Shaw, they don't exist in a moral grey area. They're just amoral because they're not real people.
Sure.
They're
What
just
about San Andreas? I feel like he's got a moral ambiguity because he steals that helicopter.
He steals the rescue helicopter that could have gone to save dozens of other people, and he uses it to save his wife and
exactly
his daughter.
Right.
Maybe.
No, he's certainly done movies like that. I'm trying to find an example of this.
Walking Tall.
Walking Tall is there. There's a bit of that there. No, there's a movie called Snitch from 2013 where he plays like a snitch, and he's like, my son's in jail or going to jail. I'll do the snitching around here. So yeah, I think
is it called Snitch?
It's called Snitch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's called I'll do the snitching around here. That's what it's called. So he does do it, but...
Step aside, snitches.
Yeah. But anyway, he wasn't asked. So Arnold Schwarzenegger, I feel like he wouldn't be a good fit because this isn't his...
narrowness of the doors.
Yes, but this isn't his kind of movie, really. You know what I mean? He's...
Maybe later period Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, I know, because if you look at like his 80s, 90s movies, it's hyper violent and he's invincible and all those things. But yeah, certainly that has changed as he's gotten older. But even then, I don't think he'd do a convincing what Chris Hemsworth does in this.
Yeah,
and the other one who I'm glad they didn't get was Bruce Willis, because they mostly just would have shot a body double, like the back of his bald head.
Yeah,
and it would have been a much worse film with
for sure
Bruce Willis sleepwalking through this.
And I also feel, and exactly, I feel you can't get. I don't think you'd also get a convincing physical performance out of him. We need to know that this is a special forces guy. Maybe he's not at the top of his game, but still, he can clear a room of guys with AK-47s.
He's 6'3" or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because he's big and experienced, and his nerve doesn't break because he doesn't really care if he's alive or dead at this point.
Yeah, like the bit where they put the gun to him.
Yeah,
but he's like, there was no bullets in that gun.
That's right.
Yeah, I don't think he would have flinched regardless.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Even as the bullet went all the way through his head. No flinching, no snitching, no flinching.
Yeah. Anyways, I think it's good that if you're looking for something new like a new action movie in particular, because there is a lot of indie stuff still coming out, and obviously there's TV shows that have still kind of in the can. It's nice to get something new that's not terrible. So I think it's definitely better than the movie Bloodshot if you're comparing it to other action movies from this year.
Yep.
And I think it's, for 2 hours, it doesn't certainly feel 2 hours.
I agree. Yeah.
So I thought starting this is probably going to be like a tight hour 20, hour and a half, but no, it's about 2 hours. So there you go. I'd like to see more from this director as well. I think he's good.
So he's never directed before this. Okay.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Yes, I agree.
Good work.
Good on him. Yeah. We're back at the end.
That's the end now.
For us, it was literally no time at all. But for you, it was a full review of the movie Extraction.
The length of that review.
What did you think of the movie Extraction?
What did you think of our review of the movie Extraction?
Leave a comment on what you think of the movie and what you think of our review.
Also, what do you think about the movie Extract?
Which one's that?
It was about chemistry or something. It's like a comedy. Jason Bateman was in it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.
We have a podcast.
Grab that gem, you guys. We'll see you next week. I said madness. That's what you have.
Yeah, I know.